I am. So, I am back again. I was experiencing some technical difficulties, but if I had to blame it on something, I blame it on the painkillers. If it's the weekend or Saturday, I'm drinking painkillers before I do the Sunday brunch. So, blame it on the painkillers. Hashtag painkillers. But doing a lot of testing today, for different views to bring to you a completely new and exciting video experience. As you can see in this video, you have a much broader view of my wine studio and then part of kitchen studio and also the window outside. I don't have any curtains on my windows, so I like the natural light to come in, shine through. So I have no curtains on the windows in the kitchen studio and in the wine studio. So what this is about is, with the testing I was doing, I wanted to be able to give you an experience in which I can prep food, whether it be a cheese and meat board or light snacks. I can prep it right here to get a full view, and we can taste wines, and maybe give you a full view of me tasting wines so you actually see the wine bottles in the video now. So I was testing that today. Then I was testing many different view perspectives. Whether it be I have cameras all over the joint now. There would be a camera over the top of the prep table, which is over in the kitchen studio, or a camera over the stove. Sometimes we have to use the stove instead of using my portable burner right here in front of you. Or sometimes it would take place right here, and you can see the whole thing. So I'm looking forward to giving you all of that. But also, I was testing out today being able to do share screen with you, to share with you. Sometimes I'll narrate or speak throughout a video, and then sometimes we'll just let the video play. You can see me or may not, but we'll just let the video play. But I wanted to share with you different videos that I have accumulated as part of my archives over the years, to showcase you some of my travels and some of my experiences. So without further ado, tonight is going to be, and I have my second moderator here tonight, so we're kind of practicing social distancing. I'm here and they're over there, but they have actually helping me with the controls, giving me sound checks and etc. So hopefully I can be heard on my different platforms. Let me go to comments. So I'm going to ask right now to my second moderator, are you able to hear me? Give me a simple thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, thumbs up. My moderator can hear me because we are practicing social distancing. So you could be watching this. This is live on both YouTube, Wisconsin Wine Guy, and Facebook, Wisconsin Wine Guy. So for those who are tuning in now, I'm going to showcase with you one of the things I was testing today, and that's sharing a screen, but sharing with you a video. And these videos are titled like 30 minutes or less, and they're titled Winery, Flashback Wineries and Wine Regions. I'm going to be going from Wisconsin to California. I have to showcase California. I'm from California, so I'm going to showcase California, but now Wisconsin is my home, and I want to show you some of the different things that are happening throughout Wisconsin. So without further ado, let me get this video started. I had difficulties earlier, but I think I got the kinks worked out now. So here we go. I'm going to transition. Now, you won't be able to hear me throughout the video, but you can comment while the video is playing, and I'll see your comments, and we can talk about, what you're viewing. So if you can't hear, you can't see, or whatever it may be, please let me know so I can straighten that out. So without further ado, let's start. This is our first video. We're going to be visiting Wisconsin, our first winery. We're going to be visiting Parallel 44 Vineyard and Winery, and this is going to be a film that they produced around 2007, 2008. So you get to see those beginnings. And in fact, what I found so cool when I go back and look at these different videos in my archives was that they're showcasing when they made wines from Chardonnay, Gewürztraminer, Merlot, and even though they're locally grown grapes, in addition to Cabernet. And let me tell you, back then, the Gewürztraminer, Chardonnay, and the cab were phenomenal. Wow. So now their advancement is even better, made with wines made with local grapes. So let's get this started. Parallel 44 Vineyard and Winery, circa 2007, 2008. And here we go. And play.
Hi, I'm Steve Johnson, and welcome to Parallel 44 Vineyard and Winery. Our story is a generational story of a family's passion for grape growing and winemaking. Inspired by our fathers, we have planted a vineyard and built a winery to grow and craft wines that reflect our passion to enjoy life. The story of Parallel 44 Vineyard and Winery is as unique as its wines. We grew up watching our fathers grow grapes and make wine for our family celebrations. We have continued this passion with our own family, and since May of 2005, we have planted over 5,000 vines here at Parallel 44. We have planted 9 varietals of French-American hybrid grapes, grapes that produce truly unique flavors that have begun to put Parallel 44 and Northeast Wisconsin on the map for excellent wines. You may be wondering, why is this place named Parallel 44? Well, believe it or not, you are now sitting at 44.40 degrees north latitude. And it is this same line of latitude that if you followed across the face of the earth, it would take you through the heart of Bordeaux, France, and Tuscany, Italy, and back through Kewanee, Wisconsin. Within this narrow band of latitude lies the finest wine growing and winemaking regions of the world. While we do not share with France and Italy their mild winters, which allow for the planting of vinifera such as Merlot and Chardonnay, here in Kewanee, Wisconsin, we do share with our European counterparts similar soil composition, growing degree days, and length of daylight in order to grow our French-American hybrid grapes. The planting of French-American hybrid varietals is a result of many years of research in which fine vinifera vines like Merlot and Cabernet have been hybridized with hardy North American rootstock. The reason for this is our climate, in which temperatures can reach 25 below zero, is a very harsh environment for vinifera vines, and by hybridizing these two types of vines, we produce a vine that is capable of surviving the winter, but also producing a high quality wine. There's something to be said for wine which reflects the soul of the land from which it's grown. This is a concept very familiar with the French that they refer to as terroir. And terroir, loosely defined, means a sense of place. And by sense of place, what we mean is that that wine is very reflective of the soil from which that grape is grown, the topography, the particular climate, the weather of that particular year, and that local winemaker's decision on how to finesse that grape. Here at Parallel 44, we have 2 estate wines to date with many more to come. The 2 estate wines are Rosso 44 and Meditation Wine. And I think you'll find that they are very reflective of the soul of the land from which these grapes were grown here at Parallel 44. It gives you a unique sense of place, wines that you can't find anywhere else. As with all good things in life, patience is necessary. Over the next 2 years, our vineyard will reach maturity. We have already had our first harvest here at Parallel 44. On a picture-perfect day in late September of 2007, we harvested 12,000 pounds of Marichal Foch and Frontenac grapes, and it is with these grapes that we've crafted our 2 estate wines, Rosso 44 and Meditation Wine. Rosso 44 is a semi-dry red wine made from our Marichal Foch grapes. It tastes of black cherries and a plummy spiciness and has been aged in oak barrels. Meditation wine is made from our Frontenac grapes and is a dessert-style wine with intense garnet color that finishes with shades of cherry, raspberry, blackcurrant, and chocolate. As our other varietals mature, the vineyard at Parallel 44 will expand to nearly 25 acres, and it will be used to craft future estate wine offerings such as an ice wine, Beaujolais-style wines, and crisp summer wines. Our award-winning wines offer you a broad spectrum from dry whites to semi-sweet whites to semi-dry reds and to dry reds. At Parallel 44, we handcraft many of our vintages from grapes grown in places such as California's Napa Valley, Washington State's Yakima Valley, and upstate New York's Finger Lakes region. Our goal is to continually offer a wide range of wine that will appeal and satisfy the palate of not only those who are just curious about wine, but also those who have developed a taste for finer wines. To appreciate a glass of wine is also to get a sense of the numerous activities that go into getting that cluster of grapes into a glass that you savor. After harvest, the grapes are destemmed and crushed to form what is called a must. This must is then pumped into temperature-controlled stainless steel tanks, and yeast is added and fermentation begins, turning juice into wine. After aging approximately 5 months in stainless steel tanks for some of our varietals, or from 6 to 18 months in our premium oak barrels for our other varietals, the wines are then bottled from a 6-spout filler and sealed with a natural cork. Finally, the finishing touch of adding a tin capsule to the top and careful placement of a label on every bottle prepares each of our wines for your enjoyment.
Wow. It's totally amazing to me to watch that video, of the past of Parallel 44 Vineyard and Winery located in Kewaunee, Wisconsin. To think about, to let's start from here. To have been able to be there from the beginning. I had owned a wine shop. It was doing my, exploration because I wanted to sell local wines, that are made right here in Wisconsin. So I was doing some research on local wineries in Wisconsin, and just traveling, around Wisconsin. And I actually found Parallel 44 by accident, because at that time we're talking 2000 and between 2005 and this video 2007. So I probably went out in 2006 and visiting different wineries trying to figure out what wines I want to sell in my store. And so through my travels, you're traveling, you see this sign, it's like, you jump off the highway, you see this sign, let me go check this out. So I'm following the arrows. And at that time, again, as I said, there was probably less than 30 wineries in Wisconsin. So this was one of those, new wineries at the time. So I turned off the highway, tried to follow the signs. Of course, I got lost a couple of times. I didn't know where I was, in Kewanee. Never been to Kewanee. But then I finally found the winery, thinking, oh my God, I found the winery. Park my car, get out the car, and so just set it up. You have this gravel parking lot, all right? So a gravel parking lot. I parked my car. I'm thinking, okay, I'm a California snob, so I'm thinking California wineries. I want to be impressed. So I pull up in this gravel parking lot. It's a beautiful building, beautiful Tuscan style building, So that was beautiful, And then there was a huge field. If you've been to Pale 44, if you're local, but there's a huge field. You have woods, you have open fields. It was beautiful, that part. But being a California snob, where are the vines? I knew nothing about this winery at the time. Park my car, get out of my car, walking up. I had no expectations. So as I began to walk up the walk path, there's this fountain on this courtyard that sits there. A nice little fountain there. And it's a nice little incline as you walk up. So you can't really see what's on the other side. So you're just walking up. So walking up, and oh my gosh, it opened up to, at that time, I think it said in the video, 5,000 vines. So it opened up to this huge plot of vines. So think about it. You have this beautiful building, and it was spring. I want to say spring, getting close to summer. So this beautiful building. Then you have this nice little fountain, on this patio area, the outside sitting area. And then it opened up into this huge acres of vines. Like, oh my gosh! I stood there in amazement, because I'm like, this is Wisconsin. The world needs to know about this. Since then, there's been more and more vineyards being planted in Wisconsin, whether it's just grapes grown to be sold to wineries, or there are wineries themselves who are planting vines to make wines from these local grapes. But I've been amazed. I was amazed then. I'm still amazed now at the progress of what's happening in Wisconsin. And I want to thank Parallel 44. I got to give them a shout out. I want to thank Parallel 44, because at the time of myself having my store, I immediately purchased their wines and was selling them in the store, and did my part to help get their story out in southern Wisconsin. Let's get the wines out there in southern Wisconsin. Let's get it in Sheboygan and far south as we possibly can get it. Because it's a remarkable story, beautiful winery. And now, for those who are not local, Pale 44 has a second location with grapevines. Not just the winery, not just the tasting room, a second location with vines. So the first location, original, Parallel 44 in Kewanee, second location called Door 44 in Door County. All right. So you have two different locations producing entirely different wines for each location. So it's a lot to explore, a lot to taste. And I want to say this, to Parallel 44, and for those who are listening, may be familiar with myself and familiar with the winery, I enjoyed tasting your wines over the years and tasting your evolution. I remember sitting back and sitting at, the winery owner's dining room table, and having a conversation about the winery, and about the wines, and about the future. And guess what? We are now here, and I can actually taste the wines based on past conversations. And that's what this whole series is about. It's about sharing with you wineries and wine regions from the past. And every now and then I'll interject my opinion, or we have a conversation afterwards. Keep rocking. Thanks a lot, CC. Telling me to keep rocking. I'm going to keep doing. Oh, I got guns. Look at there. Woo! I didn't think I had guns anymore at my age. Gregor Nichols, any great wines from Germantown? You know what? There are great wines from Germantown. Appleworks Winery in Germantown, and they are not only making wine. Don't let the name fool you, Gregory. Apple Works Winery. They're also doing wines made from Merlot, Cabernet, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, etc. You know, so definitely taste the fruit wines, because Wisconsin would not be a wine industry if it hadn't been for fruit wines. But they are doing wines from grapes that you're more familiar with. You know, and that is on my list as soon as this lockdown 2020 is over, to go and visit that winery, because I have a standing invitation, if you're watching at Appleworks Winery, to go and visit that winery. It's funny, you don't realize now I regret that I didn't get there sooner, you know, but there are new vintages and new wines coming out, and probably still some old ones left, and I'm looking forward to go and visit that winery. So Gregory, Appleworks Winery in Germantown. That's pretty specific, so you must be Wisconsin local. So again, I hope you enjoyed this blast from the past of Pale Ale 44. And I'm looking, and also this test out of a new view, a new video perspectives that I'm introducing. And this is just the first of many that I'm going to be presenting to you. I am so excited, and I'm so looking forward to being able to show you my hand. When I spent time in the Caribbean, it wasn't about, you know, can you cook? It wasn't about what can you cook. The locals would say to me, you know, they called me a Yankee, but they would say to me, I want to taste your hand. Then I'll determine whether or not you can cook or not. So I look forward to putting on video and showing you my hands in the pot, you know, and maybe you can cook along with me. So it's your Wisconsin wine guy, and I have no wine. I have no more painkiller, but I have my water. Saying to you as always, let your palate be the guide when selecting your next wine, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you many, many, many more blasts from the past videos of the wineries. Take care. See you next time. Ciao.